and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Monday, January 13th. We begin with news on the far northeast side, where police say 2 people are in critical condition after an overnight shooting. IMPD says officers were called just before 2 to an apartment on Kingswood Court, just east of I-465 near East 65th Street. Police found 2 people with gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital. IMPD says preliminary information shows that the shooting may have been domestic related. Police say they are not looking for any other suspects right now. Today, Mike Braun will be sworn in as Indiana's next governor. Ahead of the inauguration events, he has already outlined a big policy agenda. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist reports.
Mike Braun will be handed the keys to this office on Monday morning, and he's already laid out a very detailed policy plan.
Property taxes were arguably the #1 issue during the campaign. Braun wants to cap year-over-year property tax increases at 2% for seniors, low-income homeowners, and families with children under 18, and 3% for everyone else. He also wants to expand the homestead deduction. In addition, Braun wants to exempt retirement income from taxation and provide a 2-year state income tax credit for anyone who got bumped into a higher bracket due to inflation.
And I think that speaks well for what his administration is going to be, because he's listening to what's out there, what's being said to him by people in the communities. And property taxes has been a top issue. And I think that's why you see a mandate from him to attack this issue and try and solve it or improve it.
On schools, Braun wants universal school vouchers and higher teacher pay. And he's called for, as he puts it, more high-performance school options in areas with low-performing schools. Then there's Medicaid. Braun has called for fundamental reforms to close the funding gap, though he hasn't offered many specifics. He also wants to allow Medicaid users to use program dollars to access direct primary care memberships. And he wants state programs as a whole to focus more on wellness.
The challenge, of course, is that's a longer-term turnaround rate where you'll make the savings that you need to make. And so that'll be the big challenge in the long term. But that's going to be the getting that number right is going to be a big issue here at the legislature. Already getting a significant pushback from a lot of folks who were affected by those proposed changes.
And as Mike Braun's administration unfolds, we will track it closely right here on All Indiana Politics. Remember, you can watch every Sunday morning at 9:30, only on Wish TV. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
For more detailed coverage on the inauguration, just head over to wishtv.com. In other news, investigators have not said what may have caused a massive fire that destroyed a fence business on the east side. Firefighters were called to Capital City Fence Company on East Ohio Street just before 10 yesterday morning. IFD says it took 80 firefighters more than 2 hours to put out the flames. The department says firefighters faced a huge challenge as multiple rounds of ammunition inside the building went off during that fire. IFD confirms that the company's historic office building next door, which was built by Anheuser-Busch back in 1919, only saw minor damage. In California, the count of those killed in the wildfires has surged to at least 24, with more than 150,000 people under evacuation orders. The LA County coroner delivered the grim new toll Sunday. State leaders are working to allow a quick rebuilding effort once the fires ease up. California's governor has signed an executive order suspending some building requirements for wildfire victims. Gavin Newsom says he is also allocating state resources to expedite insurance inspections. The head of FEMA says mitigating future risk is important to make homes insurable and safe.
We're taking this as an opportunity to rebuild these communities in a way that's going to make them more resilient against these types of disasters.
In the coming days, firefighters face more red flag warnings for hot, dry gusts. Meanwhile, back here in Indiana, the Storm Track 8 forecast has us preparing for dangerous cold. But there are places that Hoosiers can go and stay warm. Britt Noble reports.
Well, this shelter here is open right now. Temperatures outside are dangerously cold, and it can be a problem for Hoosiers, especially for people that are experiencing homelessness. And so we want to give you some tips on how to stay warm this morning. Adding layers will help you keep warm as the temperature drops. Experts recommend wearing 3 layers during the extreme cold. Hypothermia is to blame for most winter weather deaths. This happens when your body temperature gets too low. It's also easy to get frostbite through your clothes, fingers, toes, nose, even ears. Those are often affected first. And if you don't want to go to the shelter, Indy Parks oversees multiple warming centers. Their opening hours vary, but they close at 8 o'clock p.m. For a detailed list of where to go, you can visit our website, wishtv.com. If you're warm this morning and you do have some help to give, Wheeler is accepting donations. They're also wanting people to sign up for prayer and to volunteer. I'm Brittany Noble for Wish TV. WishTV.com. Follow us on Facebook for updates.
Let's talk sports. The Pacers are on fire, hotter than even the best team in the NBA. Indiana picked up its 6th-game win last night in Cleveland. Obi Toppin continued to shine off the bench, throwing down a reverse jam off a steal in the third quarter. He finished with 12 points, one of 6 Pacers in double figures, as they ended the Cavaliers' 12-game win streak with a 108-93 victory. The Pacers get another shot at the Cavs tomorrow night, this time at home. The Pacers played the entire second half with Tyrese Halliburton on the bench. The team says the All-Star guard was dealing with tightness in his left hamstring. That's the same one he injured just over a year ago and re-aggravated last season during the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. There is no word yet on whether Halliburton will be in the lineup tomorrow night. When it comes to the weather, it's a bit of a warm-up today, but Storm Track 8 says don't get used to it. Those temps are about to get a bit colder in the coming days. Meteorologist Ryan Morse has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
Let's get ready for the next couple mornings. It was cold to start today. We're going to have wind chill values likely below 0 in some spots tomorrow, and even colder Wednesday morning. Cameras around the area, Plainfield, Fishers, and Greenfield all sitting in the mid to upper teens, which has a good blue sky on the horizon. Our 24-hour temperature change, we're at 15 degrees here in Indianapolis. It's 14 degrees colder than yesterday at this point. Yesterday evening, we had a cold front go through the area. And when you factor in the wind chill is 0 here in Indy, 2 below in Lafayette, 0 in Kokomo, and 1 in Greencastle. So our temperatures are definitely taking a hit behind that front. Yesterday, in fact, we had our temperatures above the freezing mark, which had been a bit since we did see that a couple Fridays ago. Now, and there is a system up through Montana. That Clipper system brings in our snow chance on Tuesday. Today, these are not technically going to be our high temperatures. Our high temperatures were reached in the early morning, really at midnight, where we were in the low 30s. Today, we rebound slightly into the 20s, partly cloudy through the evening and into the teens. Weather headlines, frigid air is the main story in this forecast going forward. Snow accumulation will be possible for tomorrow. It's not much. Generally a dusting up to an inch, and I'd actually put most spots a ½ inch and below. And then another weekend storm system, which could start out as rain for our area, which makes it tricky. Of the latest update on both those systems coming up with my full forecast.
To get a peek at Ryan's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com. And don't forget, conditions will change throughout the day. So to make sure you have the most up-to-date forecast, download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app, and for a more detailed look at conditions, you can check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Monday, January 13th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.